All right, we are on day 24, I believe. Is this day 24? I believe. Yes, we are on day 24 of this 30-day TikTok series where basically every single day I share with you a specific tool to help you to stop binge eating. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is something that you can do every single week to make progress with your relationship with food. So something that I do every single week with I'm seeing all of you guys register. I love it. It's like popping up on my phone. So every single week, my husband and I do a meeting on Monday. And we check in with each other and we really go through different areas of our life, health, business, all different areas. And we ask ourselves what's going well and we celebrate what's going well. And then we ask ourselves, what maybe isn't going the best? What do we need to work on? And we do this every single week. And this is what you can do with your relationship with food. So every single week, you can ask yourself, okay, in different areas with my relationship with food, what's going well, what's not going so well? So in terms of hunger and fullness, what's going well what went well this week? Oh, you know what? I actually realized that I'm paying a lot more attention to my hunger and fullness cues. It feels easier for me to listen to my hunger and fullness cues. Maybe what's gone really well is you have been able to stop when you're full. That's what's been going really well. Maybe what isn't going so well is maybe on the flip side, maybe you have overeaten a few times. Maybe you're still having a hard time understanding, the difference between am I hungry or am I just anxious? I was actually talking to one of my clients inside of Conquer who asked this question of like, how do I know if I'm actually physically hungry or if it's just anxiety? And so maybe that is something that you are working through this week. You're like, I don't really know, like, what's the difference between am I actually physically hungry or am I just anxious? Right? You can take note. And then with your urges, right? What's going well, what's not going well? Maybe what's going well is maybe you're starting to recognize that your urges are becoming less intense. Maybe you haven't given into your urges this week, or maybe you had a really strong urge on Tuesday and you didn't give in. Celebrate that. That's what's going well. But then maybe what's not going so well, maybe you're starting to recognize, maybe, again, on the flip side, maybe you were like, oh, Tuesday, I was like just so stressed out. And honestly, I didn't even bother trying to not give in. Like I just gave in. Like I was so stressed. I didn't even bother trying to not give in. And you can learn from that. It's not about beating yourself up of what's not going well, but it's like, oh, okay, interesting. So I recognize that I kind of just said F it and I just gave in. So if you don't actually take time to really see like what's going well, you can't make tweaks. What's some other things? So you can check in with hunger and fullness. You can do a little check in with your urges, right? Are they getting stronger? Are they becoming weaker? You can really ask yourself that question. You can also check in with even like self-care and your habits. What's going well with your habits and what's not going well? So maybe you're like, what's going really well is, maybe I'm moving my body a few times a week and I'm feeling really good. I'm having high energy. Maybe you're noticing with your routines, you're like, I am going to bed early and I'm not scrolling on my phone. Maybe what's going really well is you're meditating every single day and you're really feeling good about your self-care. Maybe what's not going so well is maybe you're still beating yourself up if things don't go perfectly. Maybe you're beating yourself up if you don't get in a workout. Maybe what's not going well with your routines is maybe you're scrolling too much before going to bed and you're like, I am literally like just numbing out and I'm just scrolling and I know that that's not a good habit and like I need to break it, but it's just so habitual. So again, what's going well with your habits and your routines and what's not going well? Okay? Celebrate what is going well with your routines and then celebrate when if things aren't going so well, again, what tweaks do you need to make? So you can check in with hunger and fullness, you can check in with your binge urges, you can check in with your habits and routines, and you can even check in, there's so many different areas of your relationship with food that you can check in with, but even you can check in with like your self-talk. What's going well with your self-talk? Maybe you are starting to notice that you are speaking more positively to yourself. Hey, Sandra. Maybe you are noticing that you're speaking more positively to yourself. Maybe, especially like after a binge, you're being more kinder to yourself. Maybe when you don't love what you see in the mirror, you're still, being kind and loving to yourself. Maybe what's not going so well is maybe you are still beating yourself up. Maybe you went out for ice cream and you literally are just like having that negative self-talk run with you. Like that inner critic voice is so loud, and it's been loud for the past few days. The reason why this self check-in is so important is because if you want to make progress with your relationship with food every single week, you need to do things differently on a regular basis. And so if you're not celebrating what's going well, it's really easy to feel like I'm not making progress. I was talking to one of my clients inside of the academy, and she's been doing so good. Okay. She's been doing so well. But hey, Sarah. Oh my God, Sarah, it's so good to see you. I can't wait to have you in the membership. I can't freaking wait, Sarah. You're just going to be an amazing person in our community. Can't wait to have you. So I was talking to one of my clients inside of the academy, and she's been crushing it. Like she's been doing so well. But she was like, she's like, I feel like I'm kind of like in this funk. And I said, okay, well, I haven't really been seeing you celebrating your wins. And she's like, oh, right, that's true. Like, she's like, I've had so many wins. I just thought that they were too small for me to post in the group. And I was like, that's exactly why you feel like you're in a funk. You're looking at these wins that you're experiencing, oh, they're too small. So I'm not going to celebrate myself. And you are robbing yourself of so much progress if you don't celebrate even the small wins. So I told this client, I said, I want you to literally go into our group and share your wins every single day. Because when you're celebrating yourself, you feel in momentum. When other people are celebrating, you feel in momentum. Like it's literally impossible to not feel like you're crushing your relationship with food when you're celebrating yourself. And then you have a badass community of other people celebrating you. Like it's inevitable that you're going to feel inspired to keep on going. So that's why it's important to celebrate your wins. But also when you do this audit and you check in, okay, what's going well this week and what hasn't gone well this week, then you can make changes to your relationship with food. I say this all the time. If you don't do anything different than what you've always done, you're always going to have the results that you have. So if right now you are continuing to overeat, you're eating healthy all day, but you're binging at night, you're feeling out of control with chocolate, and you don't take a different step, you don't take a different action, well, then you're always going to feel out of control with chocolate. You're always going to be binging at night. And so with this audit that you can do on a weekly basis of checking in with, hunger and fullness, checking with your urges, checking in with your habits and routines, checking with your mindset and how you're speaking to yourself, you can see, okay, what went well this week and what didn't go well. And based off of that feedback, you can create almost like a custom game plan for what you need to do differently next week. So again, if you notice like, oh, I didn't even bother trying to not give in to my urges. Like they were just so freaking strong. I was so stressed. I didn't even bother not giving into my binge urges. Well, then you can say, okay, next week, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to focus on not giving into my binge urges. You have a game plan. Let's say this week you realize like, yeah, I've just been overeating. Like I intellectually know that I'm full. My body is just like, keep on going. And you're recognizing that. Then what you can say is next week, I'm going to pay more attention to hunger and fullness, right? So you can have your own custom game plan every single week by doing this little audit. And I actually, like I said, I do this weekly with my clients. It's like every single time we hop on a coaching call, what are your wins? What's going well? So you celebrate. And then what do you need support with? What isn't going so well? And then we can make tweaks so that you can have different action steps. You can take a different action. You can get a different result and be on your way to conquering binge eating. So you guys can do this every single week yourselves. What's going well, what's not going well, and then you can continuously make progress with your relationship with food. Okay, do you guys have any questions? I see Sandra's on and I see Madison is on, Maggie. Do you guys have any questions for me? I can stay on for a little bit if you guys have any questions. Remember, I am doing a free 5-day masterclass on how to stop binge eating next week. The link is in my bio. If you've not yet registered, go to the link in my bio and register. It's completely free. It's 5 days, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to step into your inner badass to conquer binge eating. So register through the link in my bio. It's 5 days. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a masterpiece. There's like 60 of you guys already registered, which is crazy. Okay, any questions? I just saw a few of you guys sign up right now. Oh, I think Madison, I think you just signed up. Unless it's somebody else, but I literally just saw Madison signed up. Okay, any questions for me? Oh, that's you, Madison. Okay, cool. That's amazing. Can't wait to have you. All right, you guys. Any questions? Kara, any questions for me? Kara, Madison? Hey, Renee. Doing a little Q&A now. So if you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat. Any questions, you guys? Anything you need support with when it comes to your relationship with food, when it comes to binge eating? Hey, Amanda, we're doing a little Q&A. So if you have a question for me, you can drop your question in the chat. If not, be sure to, like I said, register for the free 5-day masterclass happening next week. Be sure to register for that. Hey, Karina. We're doing a little Q&A if you have a question. So funny when like nobody has a question and I see all of you guys just like watching and I'm like, nobody has questions. Just totally fine. Okay, here we go. Kara. Okay. Oh my gosh, all the questions. I love it. Hey, Ashley. Okay. Kara or Kara, correct me. I don't like saying people's names wrong. I'm guessing it's Kara. I'd say Kara. Okay. What tool was the most helpful for you in regards to binge eating? Ooh. You know, it's so interesting because I say this all the time. Like, there's not one thing that helped me stop binge eating. And maybe that's the tool. The tool that actually helped me stop binge eating was recognizing that there's not one magical tool that was going to help me stop binge eating. Because everyone wants to know, like, what's the one thing? Like, what's the one thing that I can do? But for me personally, it was an accumulation of so many different things. Meditation, breath work, practicing not giving into my urges, honoring my cravings. Those were really the things. If I had to choose one, I would say there is this journaling activity that I did every single day. So basically what I would do is I would write out in my journal how I wanted to think, how I wanted to feel, and how I wanted to behave around food as if it has already happened. So for example, I would literally write down in my journal, I feel so connected to my body. I am able to really feel my hunger and fullness cues. I'm able to naturally stop eating when I'm full. When I come home from work, I am able to enjoy an amazing, satisfying dinner. And I am able to enjoy a few pieces of chocolate and I'm able to simply move on with my day. I feel so at peace with food and I'm so filled with joy as I'm on my way to ending binge eating. So like I literally wrote down how I wanted to feel as if like I was starting to become binge free, as I was being able to be connected to my hunger and fullness cues. And that really helps to rewire your brain. So I did that every single day. And then it's like that gets reprogrammed into your brain. So then when you do come home from work and you're having dinner, it's like, oh, right, I'm the type of person that this feels very connected to my hunger and fullness because I am the type of person who can stop when I'm full. And so I started literally like patterning this into my body. And I did that literally Monday through Friday, almost every single day on my journey, which really, really helped me. Is it possible for binges to come at the same time every week? 100%, but that is typically habitual. So if a client comes to me, you're welcome. If a client comes to me and they're like, every single day at 3 p.m., I binge, it's a habit. If a client comes to me and they're like, Lorna, I can eat healthy all day, but then come the evening at like 8 o'clock at night or after dinner, I binge, it's a habit. And so that's a good thing because we can rewire habits, right? You can absolutely rewire your brain, you can rewire your habits, but it's recognizing this. Okay, interesting. It always happens around the same time, right? If it's sporadic, right? If it's sporadic, then it's like sometimes that's even harder to it's harder to predict when they happen. But if you know, okay, every single night at 8 o'clock, every single day at 3 p.m., then what you can do is you can create a game plan for that specific time. So let's say, for example, you mostly have your binges in the evening. What you shouldn't do is just distract yourself and try to go to bed early and like brush your teeth to avoid binging, because that's never a sustainable solution. But what you can do instead, it's like, okay, if I know for the most part that the evenings are most challenging for me, then I'm going to make sure that I'm eating enough throughout the day. I'm going to make sure that I have more satisfying meals. Maybe I'm going to have a more satisfying dinner, because when I have a more satisfying dinner, I don't feel the need to binge. So then you can make tweaks if you know when they happen, right? Same with if they always happen at 3 p.m. Maybe it's like you didn't have a filling lunch, or maybe you didn't have a satisfying lunch, or maybe you have this rule of I can only have lunch and then I can't have a snack until dinner, which is why at 3 o'clock you feel this urge to binge, because it's like, I can't have a snack. So once you understand kind of like if your binges are happening at the same time every single day, then you can really create a game plan around that to prevent those urges from arising in the first place. Good question. All right, you guys, I'm going to pop off. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder, I am doing my free 5-day masterclass. It's happening next week. The link is in my bio to register. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to conquer binge eating. It's 5 days. It's completely free. So be sure to register. The link is in my bio. I can't wait to have you guys all. It's going to be so incredible. So the link is in my... Sorry, I got so excited. The link is in my bio. Go ahead and register right now for the free 5-day masterclass happening next week. It's going to be amazing. So thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you guys soon and have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.